last week we implemented code for logging into accounts. And this week we're going to create a multi-user system where each user has their own items and categories. And I've sketched out just really high level what we're going to do in order to accomplish that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add an owner tag to each item and category in the system so that we can create a user state object that holds only the items and categories that are appropriate for a specific user. So for example, I have a Mark account in the system, and there's going to be a user state object for Mark that's going to include my slice of the list of all videos, my slice of the list of all playlists, my slice of the lookup table, the video map that gets me from a video key to a video object, and same thing for the playlist map. So right now, this map lives on the music video class, and this map lives on the playlist class, but I'm going to have a separate list of all videos, a separate list of all playlists, a separate map, and a separate playlist map on a new user state object that's going to be associated with my account. And then on the session, I'm going to have a user object that includes the ID that's going to let me access the user state for that user. And we'll talk about why it's set up this way when we get to there. And then once that's done, basically everything in the system that currently accesses one of these four things is instead going to access the user state for the currently logged in user instead. So first step is adding owner tags to all items and categories. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. And first part of that is the actual classes that hold the data. So that's going to be the music video class, performance video class, and playlist. Before I do that, though, I had a suggestion from a student which I thought was a good suggestion. And so before I do anything else, I'm going to basically, I'm going to create a folder for all of these route files. So create routes, delete routes, and so on. I'm going to put them in a new folder. Right now they're all in the UI folder, so I'm going to create a new subfolder of UI called routes. And don't want to capitalize that. I mean, it's not really a class. I'm just going to keep it lowercase. So, and then the things that I'm going to put in routes file now. So I'm going to go ahead and move those route files into there. So let's see, create routes, delete routes, print routes, update routes, and user routes. I'm going to Control X to copy, to cut. Control X, and then Control V. And I'm going to move the files. I'm not going to search for references though, because these imports that I have inside of WebUI actually will get removed by PyCharm if I do something that would have caused these to get changed. So I'm just going to click the refactor button. And now these are highlighted because there's no print routes in UI anymore. It's now in UI.routes.printroutes. Okay, so we're going to do that and that and that and that and that. And that's really the only change that I need here. So let me go ahead and try running main. It should still work. And then I'm going to go here, we log out, log back in. And then let's look at the playlists and Kate Bush. And great, everything seems to be working fine. So maybe try one of the routes here. So let me, yeah, so that route's working. Okay, so that seems to work. So now we're going to go ahead and start tagging stuff. So first part of that is I'm going to look at music video, and I'm going to add a property after the note here for user key, which is going to be the username in all lowercase, just that piece of text. No, I don't really need the rest of the object for anything, so I'm just going to use the key value here. And then after the note, we're going to do self dot under user key is equal to user key. And then I want to add a property to the top for user key as well. And then the rest of that's okay for now. The build method, I'm going to have to pass in user key. So video dict user key. And same thing, I'm going to have that for performance video as well. So video dict user key. And then I'm putting that in the same order as the parent class. And then these two additional fields are still just two additional fields after user key. So the toDict method is going to have user key as well. So we're going to do user key self dot under user key. But then since this key is basically for a music video, it's just title, artist, and actually let me look at the key value. So it's artist and title in all lowercase. It's possible that two different users will have video with the same artist and title, and that's okay because they could have different notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the ID value here not just the key for the video, but both the key for the video and also the key for the user. So everybody gets their own copy basically. So that's going to be a formatted string now. And then it's going to start with self.getKey. And then I want a separator that's not a very common character. I don't think it will matter. It just has to be unique. But I'm going to go ahead and use a vertical bar for that. And then we're going to have self.userKey. All right, so that's going to be distinct enough that each user gets their own copy with the same key value. And then I think the rest of this is okay. So get key is the same, printable key, make key, get artist, get title. I think we're all fine so far. And then these things will have to change a little bit, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Okay, so there's music video, and then in performance video, the constructor is going to take a user key after note, and it's going to pass that into the super constructor. And I think that's it for the constructor. And then the toDict method, it's already going to have a user key property from the super toDict method. And get keys the same, get printable key. So I think all the rest of this is the same. Okay. Next, we have playlist. And here too, after description, I'm going to go ahead and add user key. And then we'll add a property at the top. And then we'll set the value and then the build method will take a user key, so playlist dict user key, and then the toDict method will produce a user key. Actually, I have it after description, I think. Yeah. So let me put it after description. I mean, it's just a dictionary, so the order doesn't really matter particularly here, but just for consistency's sake. And I think that's it for this one. Okay, so that's the data structures, and then I also have to modify, so some of these methods are going to have to change, but I'm going to start by modifying the thing that makes the starter data and rebuilds the database. So we're going to go to here, and then basically for all of these playlists and videos, I want to add a user tag. But I'm going to do a little refactoring. So before, what I did was put two user objects right inside of this rebuild data method, and then created a list of them, and then inserted them ultimately into the collection. So I'm going to move this into a separate function for it's just like this. Where did I do this? This all videos, all playlists is get playlists. I'm actually going to move the user stuff into this get playlists here. So let's go to get playlists, and I want to do this here because some of these videos are going to get tagged with this user, and some of the videos are going to get tagged with this other user. And so I'm going to define them here, and then at the bottom I'm going to return my list of all videos and my list of all playlists, and I'm also going to return my list of all users, which is going to be user 1 and user 2. Okay, so here, coming back to my rebuild data method, this thing is actually going to return three things now. So I'm going to put this up here. So this is going to be all users. And then userdex is going to be for user and all users. And then we're going to do that. So userdex, we're going to make the list of decks and we're going to insert them. Then we're going to make the list of videos and insert them. And then we're going to make the list of playlists and insert them. So this is all nice and parallel and consistent. Okay, so then here what we want to do is after the note, and I'm gonna fix the formatting on this a little bit because I'm going to be working on it and it's just a little annoying. So I think this is going to make it easier to maintain. Okay, so this is going to be user 2. So change this one to user 2. So it's the same data, I just reformatted it, added user key in the right place. And then all the Elvis Costello stuff is user 2. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing with the playlists. So user2.getKey. Okay, and then this all videos playlist, we're actually going to have two of these. So one for user 1 and one for user 2. So U1 all is this one. And then this does not have Elvis Costello on it, but I'm going to copy it first. Okay. So that is user 1 all, and this is user 2 all. And then user 2 is user 2 key. All right. So these Elvis Costello videos are not part of the user 1 all playlist. And then only the Elvis Costello videos are part of the user 2 playlist. And then instead of using the all videos, I'll use the all videos. It's fine. That's fine. But I will change the description. So this is all videos for Mark, and this is all videos for Mighty Mouse. All right. So now I have U1 all and U2 all. And then what I'm going to return is the list of all videos, and then the list of all playlists is going to have all the playlists, so U1 all, U2 all, and then the list of all users has both users. So I think that's everything. So let me try and rebuild the database now, and we'll see if it works. I'm going to close some of these things too here. All right, so I'm going to rebuild the database. And I have a problem. So VideoDict is video.toDict for video and all videos. So let's put a breakpoint right there and take a look at what we're dealing with. Okay, so all videos, that's a built-in, so I forgot to actually call something here. So this all videos is coming from that call to get playlists. So let's look at get playlists. I'm going to stop that. So I'm calling get key probably, but I didn't put my parentheses in. And so I'm getting a bound method probably in the data for playlist somewhere. So I'm checking all of these calls, user1.getKey, user2.getKey. And those all look fine. So this all thing here seems to be a problem. Oh, I still need the all. Okay, so that's the problem. I still need an all videos playlist. But I don't really need a playlist here. I just need the list of all the videos. So the list of all the videos is basically this thing here plus the Elvis Costello stuff. So this is just going to be a list of videos. And I'm doing this because I don't want an owner. So that's also going to have these Elvis Costello ones. And that's all the videos. Okay, let's try that again. And then I have an index error because I forgot to update the key on my playlists. So let's fix that. And so the problem is that I can have two playlists that have the same name just for different users. So this thing here has to be the formatted string. I did that for music video, but not for playlist. So there's the old key and then a bar and then self dot under user key. Okay, now I'm going to rebuild again. And that worked. So let's go ahead and take a look at the database and see if it looks okay. So I have a 233Y account that I'm going to use for MongoDB. And then let's log in. Okay, so browse collections. So we're going to start with playlist. So now we see the new ID has the bar and the owner and then the user key. And the video should just be keys. Right. Bar and user key, bar and user key. So those all look fine. Then let's look at users. So just have these two. And then let's look at videos. Okay, so this is a performance video. It's got the username and the ID and the user key. And then everything else looks good. So year and note, year and note. So actually this isn't a performance video. This is just a regular video. And then same thing here. So the regular videos are fine. Let's look at a performance video. So here's a performance video and location and performance date. So that's fine. And the key is fine. So that looks good. And then the rest of this looks good as well.